while people slowly filter in, why don't we just take a breath? And just show up. Here we are in a room, online, ready to enter deeper into this moment. And if there's anything you'd particularly like to talk about tonight, you're welcome to put it in the chat and I'll make sure it gets included. The most important thing I think anybody can say about meditation is that meditation is not about you. Meditation is not about me. Our personal stories are all about ourselves. Even the service we do for others is usually about ourselves in some way. Nothing to be ashamed of, just it is what it is. We were born with this sense of I, and it's part of the mechanism of life, and it leads to dreams and nightmares, all of which we grow from. But meditation is a doorway out of that. Meditation is an opportunity to feed everything that is not that. It's an opportunity to feed the not me. Just gonna mute us while people are coming in. Meditation is a chance to feed the not you. The part of you that is not a personality. And the thing about that, the thing that most people don't realize until they've been meditating for a while, is that that part of you that you don't recognize as you, that is the biggest part of you. That is the part of you that makes up the rest of the iceberg. The personalities, this little tip that sticks out of the water. That part of you that's apparent. Underneath it is this vast consciousness. And the vast part of you is the vast part of me, is the vast part of every sentient creature on this planet and on any other planet. So the majority of what we are is not the part of us that we recognize as ourselves. When you learn how to meditate, you are literally learning how to water that real part of you that is the rest of that iceberg. Nothing in life asks it of you. That's the mechanism. It keeps us stuck in this tiny little prison of a personality. There's just a few people who are awake, and so they invite people. But as you can see, the majority of the world has no impetus to show up. They don't know that they need it. And even if they do, the personality is so alluring that it always feels like something you could just put off to another day. So people are slowly filtering in. We're talking about watering the not you. It's something that a lot of you have heard before, but we haven't talked about it in a while. We get so busy trying to fulfill these stories that by their very nature will never be fulfilled. There is no amount of love that anybody is ever going to give you that is going to make you filled with love. There's no amount of achievement that you are ever going to receive that is ever going to mean that you finally got there. There's no amount of anything that satiates the story of lack. Take that in, because it's just absolutely true. Your personality has a story of lack, a story of need. You've evolved it to a point where it actually brings you to a class like this, which is incredibly fortunate. Most people aren't there. But if you are, you have this little window of an opportunity to slip out of the dream without losing it. That story of lack evolved to a point where what you were lacking was freedom. And so you come to different places that you think might give you that freedom, and you're looking for it actually in the right places, which almost all of them are wrong. Meditation is anything that takes your attention off of your false self and puts it onto what's real. Literally anything. So it doesn't matter what religion it comes from. It doesn't matter what practice you get it from. If you ever hear someone talking about more advanced versus less advanced spiritual practices, you know you're in the wrong place. There's no such thing. There's literally one practice. And it is to relinquish your attention from the personality and place it on literally anything else. That's all it takes. You do that, and infinity starts to open up around you. And I think most, if not all of you, have experienced that at least a little bit. You mistake it for my power or the power of some teacher that you're working with a lot of times. But it's not. It's what we all are. And it's your willingness to shift that got you there, not my willingness to pull you there. People who want you to think that, they want something from you. What I want is for you to wake up for yourself. So I've taught like this for decades. And watch people move forward. People talk like it takes a certain amount of time for you to wake up, but it's not actually true. It might take a certain amount of time for you to keep your attention off of yourself, where your karma will work out so that you can actually see what's real. But the shift, the fundamental shift that gives you access to it, that doesn't take time. It happens in any moment when you are truly willing. Whatever that moment is, where you suddenly look up and said, you know what? What if I just let it all go? What if I really let it all go and just stay with my breath? And when the mind comes in to tell me I'm bored, I just sit there bored and I stay with my breath. And when the mind comes in to tell me that I need to start figuring out some conversation I'm going to have tomorrow, I just go ahead and let that be what it is, but I don't play with it. I just stay with my breath. And so you cultivate a concentration that way, not over years, over minutes, over 15 minutes. Give or take, depending on your karma. And then as that concentration starts to build a light inside of you, which you will see or hear or feel. Many people will just see it as the room getting brighter. Others are more auditory. They'll become aware of a ringing sound. And then others will feel it like a pressure on their skin. But as the silence from that concentration starts to build in you, over 15 minutes, give or take, then the next step becomes, what if instead of holding myself here, I just stopped reaching outside of this and just let this become my center? What if instead of pushing away the personality, I just stopped reaching for it and I let the personality be the personality and I become the watcher of the breath? I just make my home in that stillness that's building up around me. And that's the shift from concentration into meditation. It's a balancing act. How long can I stay in that center, not rigidly, not through willpower, but through willingness? That's the shift. Concentration is willpower. Meditation is willingness. Will you do it? Yes, I will. It's simple. There's no push. There's no pull. And then you abide there. And in that place, power starts to build in you. Your awareness starts to expand. Not like some shamanic journey, right? That's not what I mean by awareness expanding. It happens quite naturally. You don't seek it. If you're seeking it, you're still just kind of playing with the mind. But by staying in that center willingly, an expansion begins. And if you stay there long enough, there's a breakthrough that just happens. And that breakthrough creates a union. And there are levels to that too. Not that we need to delineate. I don't think it's helpful to delineate, except to say that when you reach that place where you can just abide in that center with your attention on something other than your personal life story and your personality, when you can just abide there, that's the beginning of an expansion into deeper and deeper awakening. And it isn't more complicated than that. And anyone who tries to make it look more complicated than that is selling you something. Sometimes they're just trying to romance you forward, playing with your personality. But if you're showing up at a class like this, you're not somebody who needs that anymore. You're looking for the real thing. And you can find that in yourself here. Are there any questions about that before we go into meditation? We'll probably stop at about 1:45 tonight, because the presidential debate is tonight in the United States, and I think it's, suffice to say, it's an important one. All right, guys. So let's really go there tonight. Tonight could be the night that it all changes for you. Attention at the third eye and crown. Eyes open. Anchor them to a spot in front of you or a spot on the floor. And just begin to breathe. Become the wholehearted watcher of your breath. And when your story comes in to take you away, just don't play with it. Return to the breath. Return to the breath. Return to the breath. Everything you've ever been looking for is there. You just have to stop looking for it and return to the breath. See for yourself. The fastest road out of the story is to let go of time. Time strings everything together. So slow yourself way down. There should be no part of you reaching into the future. Slow yourself down. So that your awareness can expand into this moment. If you can do that, you'll find yourself anchored in eternity. This is what's real. Start with the breath and nothing else. And when the buffer of silence starts to fill you, you can just give yourself to that. That feeling that fills your consciousness can fill your body if you relax. Make your body soft. Make your heart soft. So that your body can enjoy meditation. This is unconditional comfort. No longer dependent on the story. Unconditional comfort and unconditional love are the same thing. A flow of good that is not conditional upon the story. as the cycle of willingness dies down, you need to stay there anyways. Otherwise, you won't expand. Those cycles are cycles of the personality, and they're designed to keep you in place. Just gently wade through the dark phase. Eyes open, heart open. The expansive energy will return. You stay open. Unconditional openness, unconditional comfort. Unconditional means you're no longer life's puppet. This week, I want you to notice something. I want you to notice how conditional your responses are to your life story. Every happiness, every sadness, every hunger, everything, I want you to notice how conditional it is to your life story. And I want you every day to practice shifting out of it. Have some time every day where you're not just a puppet of your life story. Everyone in this world is asleep in their story. They laugh when it tells them to laugh. They cry when it tells them to cry. They get angry when it tells them to get angry. They get horny when it tells them to get horny. They're just puppets of something they don't know how to step out of. You step out of it once a day. You've stumbled upon this teaching. It is meant for you. Don't let it pass you by. Even if you just can't master it right now, address it every day. Even if all you can do is struggle with it every day. It will come clear. But you have to actually work with it. And nothing in life other than me is going to ask it of you. Which means you have to protect it. It's vulnerable. People wonder why I'm so consistent with these classes. They wonder why I'm so strict with myself this way. And it's because I know how vulnerable this is. That window of opportunity can be snatched away and you won't even remember that you cared. I've seen it over and over. If you care now, that flame is sacred. Honor it every day. You might have to take a break for the presidential debates. But I have to go, guys. I will see you in a week. I'll see you next Thursday. All right, everybody. Are there any questions before I head out? All right, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, everyone. I'll see you in a week.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.